Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michaela and this is my podcast where I talk about all the things that I've been crafting. I have a little bit of knitting and crochet to share with you today. It's only been a week since I last saw you guys. So far I'm doing pretty good on this new filming schedule, but I don't have as much to show as I typically would because it's only been a week. But I do have exciting things to share, some new cast-ons, progress on some projects, and yeah, I hope you can't tell too bad, but my voice is pretty raspy today. Last night I got this annoying tickle in my throat and I could not stop coughing. I was up coughing all night. It's much better this morning, but now I've got the rasp in my voice, which typically isn't even a big deal, but I'm supposed to sing at church, a church event tomorrow. So yeah, I'm nursing it with some warm tea in this beautiful thrifted mug. I think this mug is so cute because of its little like pedestal. So I'm drinking some kava stress relief tea by Yogi. It's not necessarily like a throat soothing tea per se, but it's one of my favorites because it has kind of a spicy undertone, and I added a little almond creamer, so it's the perfect mix between sweet and a little bit spicy. It's pretty rainy here today, so I feel like this fits the theme, because if it was hot, I would not be drinking hot tea right now. But it's a little chilly, it feels good, and this is helping my throat a bit. So let's jump right in with what I'm wearing. This is my ranunculus tee that I made last spring, I believe it was. Yes. And this was knit out of a DK alpaca, baby alpaca, I think it was, yarn that I got on sale at my local yarn store. And it is a dream. It's so soft. If you've never felt alpaca yarn, it's very soft, very drapey, which was the perfect fit for this ranunculus tee. I'm going to assume you all know what the ranunculus pattern is, but if not, it's a pattern by Midori Hirose, and it is widely popular. I would vouch to say that it's one of the most popular knitting patterns ever. I just made that up, but I feel like it is. It is always on my trending page. The number of projects are insane. I haven't heard of anybody just knitting one. I have two and a third that I plan to make in the future. But anyways, it's a great pattern. I love it. I went for the short sleeve version on this one. Now, when you split for sleeves, if you're following the short sleeve version, you just stop and you don't pick them back up. But having knit it now, if I were to make another short sleeve version, I would go back and pick them up and knit a rib to hold the sleeve down, because as you can see, the sleeves almost kind of bail out. It's not a big enough deal to keep me from wearing it. I love this sweater, this top, but next time I would add a little length and add some ribbing onto the sleeves. But anyways, as you can see, it's got the beautiful like necklace neckline. The short rows are a big part of creating that yoke pattern that makes it almost sit like a necklace. And I did knit mine a little bit cropped, but it is still long enough that if I'm wearing high-waisted jeans, I can kind of tuck it in a little bit. So it's the perfect length, perfect color. I love this color. And the perfect drape. I'm pretty sure I used recommended needles, and I used, I want to say like 400 yards of yarn. I only had 2 skeins of the DK weight, and it worked. I had a little bit left over. So yeah, that is my ranunculus tee. One of my favorite knits, one of my most worn knits. And for today, it's perfect because it's a little bit warm because it is alpaca, but it's still short sleeve, so I'm not like sweating inside because, like I said, it is rainy and a bit chilly today, so this is the perfect spring top. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. Okay. Moving on, I'm gonna show you the projects that you have already seen before, so I'll show you my whips, and then I have 2 new cast-ons. So we will start with my crochet top. I showed this 2 episodes ago, I believe. I don't think I showed it last week. This is a pattern that I got on Etsy. All patterns will be linked below as usual. And this is called the Hyacinth Lace Peplum Top. I would like to say I'm almost finished with it. I don't know if I mentioned this is crochet. So last time I just had kind of like the little bralette part complete, but I now have the top is almost complete. I think I'm only gonna add 1 or 2 more rows of this lace, and then I've got my ties that tie in the back, because I do want it to be slightly cropped, but not like a belly shirt by any means. But I do want it to hit kind of at my natural waist. So a few more rows of that lace, and then I'll go in to do the straps. And the straps, I'll post a picture of the finished object here so you can see what the straps look like. They're very cute with a little ruffle. And I think this is just gonna be the cutest little top for summer. I am going to sew some padding into the inside of the cups because my gauge is a little bit more see-through than hers. And because of the back, it's backless, so the back just ties up, and any kind of bra would just look kind of funny. It would show through. So this is something I will wear without a bra, so I need to put something in the cups because we're not trying to flash the whole world. But I think this is so darling, and I already have an outfit in mind to wear this with. I have these like flare, high-waisted flare jeans that I think would be so cute with this, a little flare top, and these dark brown slip-on clog heels. It's a very 70s moment, but I'm really excited about it. Not that I ever go anywhere to even dress up like that, but I'll wear it at home. So yeah, that is my Hyacinth Lace Peplum top. Very excited about this. I am using just some, I think this is like Premier yarns. It's just acrylic. It came from Michael's. I had it in stash from a blanket that I frogged. So I just had this and I thought, you know what? Might as well make something out of it. And I am using the recommended hooks, which right now for this lace section is a 5.25 millimeter I hook. I think that is I or L. I'm not sure. 5.25 millimeter. This should be done already, but I'm not gonna lie, crocheting hurts my wrists. I find that knitting doesn't really ever bother me as far as my joints go, but crocheting is a lot more wrist movement for me. I don't hold my crochet needle the way that I've seen other people crochet, and I don't know which one is correct, but I hold mine differently, and because of that, my wrist is just like this. And after like 1 row of this lace, my wrist already hurts. So I'm not working on this super consistently, but just enough that it's gonna be finished in a decent amount of time. I feel like I am faster with crochet, but I have to take more breaks because of the wrist. So there's a trade-off there. I used to only crochet before I ever knit, and I would crochet all day and it wouldn't bother my wrists. I don't know if it's just because I'm out of practice. Who knows? Or maybe it's just this yarn and needle combination, I'm not sure. But it'll be worth it when it's complete. I need some more tea. The tickle in my throat is starting to come back. Okay, the next project that you have already seen is my Tilly cardigan. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, to be honest. I will put a picture of it here and I will show you my progress. I don't actually remember where I was last time I showed you guys, but I'm still working on the body. I'm trying to do like 2 rows a day on this just so it doesn't go stagnant. But we're getting there. This color looks a lot different on camera this time. It's looking a lot more neutral, I feel like. This is a periwinkle color. That's so pretty. I am excited to wear this really all year round. It's like the perfect color for a layering piece to go over. I feel like it'll match any dress. It's got purple hues, but it's more of a neutral purple, I feel like, because it has those gray undertones too. So yeah, I am trying to keep working on this just so that it ends up being finished and not just sitting and languishing. But it is hard to do because I have so many things in mind that I want to cast on and work on. Like I want to work on spring and summer knits. And I am working on, well, I guess I'm not. I haven't cast it on yet. I am about to start a tank top, but I can't let this sit on the sidelines. It needs to be worked on regularly. And so far I've done pretty good at keeping up with that. So that's my Till cardigan. Tilly, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And then the next thing is my Time sweater. And I showed you guys this last week, but I had just started it, so you couldn't even see what the color looked like at that point. This is a pattern by Lily Kate France. I'll put a picture of the sweater here. And when I say I am obsessed with this color, I am obsessed. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. Da da da. Whoops. Is that not absolutely gorgeous? I mean, can we take a moment? I love this so much. So, this is the back piece. Let me hold it the right way. This is the top of the back piece. As you can see, there are short rows, and then I will pick up stitches here to knit down the front, because it is a V-neck. And then I believe we'll join for the body. I'm almost finished with this piece. So making good progress on this. It is kind of flying by though, because this is a US 9 needle, 5.5 millimeter. So, I mean, I feel like to see that I did that much in a week just feels crazy, but it's really not that many rows. And the yarns that I'm using for this, if you have missed it, are, do I even know? Drops Cotton Merino in Pistachio, I believe was the color name, held with Drops Kid Silk in Pistachio Ice Cream. As you can see, these are not a match, but I thought they would be beautiful. And this looks white, but it's actually got a minty green hue to it. And I just thought it would be so nice to kind of dull the green just a tiny bit and add some depth. And as you can see, it's just working up beautifully. You get that little halo from the mohair, but it's still definitely green, you know? And this fabric is really, I love the gauge of this pattern. It's very drapey, and I just think it's gonna be beautiful to wear. I love it so much. I love color. You guys know this already. Really, really excited about this. I just have nothing else to say. I'm just really excited, and I think it's gorgeous. And I feel like these yarn colors and this sweater are a match made in heaven, because the sweater itself, the pattern is casual, but it's almost like a statement casual. And so this color, I don't know, I think it's perfect. And obviously we're going into summer pretty soon, and this is gonna be quite a warm sweater, but I'm gonna wear it whenever I can, because especially in the evenings, like summer evenings are still cool enough that I think I can get away with it, maybe with shorts. I'm also just naturally always cold, so hopefully I can get some wear out of it before fall and winter. Ideally, this would be the perfect color for transitioning from winter into spring. Obviously, I've missed that point of the year here. I'm in North Carolina, for those of you who may be new. So yeah, next transition into spring, I will be wearing this nonstop. Okay, let me put this away. And now I have mohair in my mouth. You can't hold mohair without getting some in your mouth, can you? Okay, next I have 2 new cast-ons, which I did talk about in last week's video. I just talked about the fact that I was going to cast them on. But I since have casted them on. So we will start with the one that I'm the most excited about. And these are my Midsummer Blossoms socks. If you remember, I talked about this yarn that is from Long Dog Yarns in an Echo in the Bone. It's part of the Outlander collection, that I was trying to decide what to make with it because it is so beautiful. And I wanted to be able to use it in as many projects as I could. This is not giving you an accurate representation of the color. I feel like it showed it off better when it was in the skein last episode. But I'm gonna be making a scarf out of this, like a lace little cute small scarf, which I talked about last week. But also I wanted to incorporate it into these socks, and they're so pretty. This is the Midsummer Blossoms sock. I made this pattern last year, but I did the ankle sock version where the lace pattern is on the whole foot. And in this one's supposed to be striped. I'm not doing the stripes. There's a lace section and then the rest of it's stockinette. So, are you ready to see the beauty of these colors? This is what we've got. I just paired it with a West Yorkshire Spinners white sock yarn. I'm currently on the heel flap, but I just think that combination, like it's a simple sock, but then it has this beautiful lace and this beautiful color. It's almost like, I don't know, like reminds me of like sea glass or something. I don't know, but I just think it's so pretty. The whole thing just looks very like, I'm sorry I say like so much, it's a habit. It's very ethereal to me. Does that make sense? I just think it's so gorgeous. The simplicity, but also the delicacy of the lace. It's beautiful. This is a sock that I will shamelessly wear with sandals, with my Birkenstocks, or my slip-ons, purposefully to show how pretty they are. I just think it's gorgeous. And that color, I mean, it's just so pretty. I feel like this is knitting up really quickly, and I'm gonna say DPNs are where it's at. If you currently knit socks on Magic Loop and you've never tried DPNs, you gotta try it, because I feel like I knit so much faster on DPNs. And I don't have the stinking cord to keep up with, because my cord is very long and it gets in the way and it's annoying. But I love these little DPNs. These are, I believe these are Knitter's Pride. These are 2.25 millimeters. And I do a 64 stitch cast on. Yeah, really looking forward to having these completed. They're so gorgeous. I could cry. Okay. We'll move on. It's just a sock. The next project is also a sock though, albeit a cute sock. This is a sock for my sister-in-law. If you guys don't already, follow her on Instagram. She has an Instagram. She is also a knitter and a crafter. She does many things, as I feel like most of us dabble in many things. She does too. Her Instagram is A Handmade Heritage. I'll link her down below. You should go follow her. She's the best. So I promised her a pair of knit socks during Christmas time, and I'm just now getting to them. So she picked out a pattern, and she picked out the Ruffle Socks by Petite Knit, which was a great choice. And so far, this is what I've got. Very cute. This is a Cascade Heritage in the color Limestone. And then I will be using this for the heel. So I'm not gonna use the heel that's in the pattern because it is a, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a continuous heel. It's not the heel flap and gusset, but I'm gonna use this, so I'm gonna do the heel flap and gusset. Plus that's just easier, it's what I know. That's what she likes, that's what fits her foot, so that's what we're gonna do. Now, I don't know if you can tell, this does look kind of big to me. This is a 2.75 millimeter needle. And the reason I'm doing that is because I took one of my socks over to her, and it was a pair of socks that I knit on a 2.5 millimeter. And then I think I had done, maybe it was 60 stitches all the way around, but she could not get it on her foot. And she said that she normally makes her socks with this size needle. And I think we have around the same gauge. So I said, okay, I trust you, I'll do it. And they do fit. She likes hers a bit looser anyways. I like mine to really hug my foot. Like, I want them to almost be difficult to put on because I want them that tight. But she doesn't necessarily want hers that tight. So I've done the 64 stitch count on 2.75 millimeters. And I gotta say, petite knit, this is the first pattern I've ever done by her. She must have a super loose gauge because your cast on number is the ruffle stitch number, so it's not going to be 64 or 60 or whatever. It's like in the hundreds, but I chose the one that ends up at 64 stitches on the leg, and that was the biggest size, like the extra large, I think. I want to say the smallest one was like, it went down to like maybe like 40 something stitches, I don't know, but it was supposed to be for like my size foot. So she must have a super loose gauge, which kind of makes me nervous for the future because I have a sweater I want to knit by her, but I don't know about gauge wise. I mean, that's what swatching's for, I know. But anyways, I think these will fit nice. I did tell her I'll knit quite a bit down through the leg so she can try them on. And then if she likes that looseness for the leg but wants the foot a little tighter, I can always decrease extra stitches after the gusset to make it a little tighter on the foot. So we'll see. I don't want to have to rip it out and redo it because it was a lot of stitches to cast on, and then you go straight into knitting them together to get that ruffle. And I cast on really tight apparently, so I really had some trouble knitting 2 stitches from a cast on together, hundreds of them. So I don't want to have to do this more than I have to. Twice for a pair of socks is enough for me, so I'm hoping that this size works out. It is such a cute pattern though. I am looking forward to making a pair for myself, maybe in just a solid color. I'm not sure yet. I think a pink, just a solid, really light baby pink would be really pretty because it has that feminine little ruffle on there. So yeah, those are the socks for my sister-in-law. And that's all the knitting I have to share. Like I said, it's only been a week, so I don't have a ton. I did want to say thank you for all of your comments last week about my piercing removal. I know that was a really strange thing to mention to you guys, but it went very well for anyone wondering. I'll tell you the little story of how it went. So I had to drive an hour away to get this done. I think I mentioned that because no one around me does it anymore. This type of piercing was trending about 10 to 15 years ago. Not so much anymore because they cause problems. Nobody gets them anymore, so no one wants to remove them either. So I had to drive an hour away. So I get to this other town, which I'm already like not super familiar with this town. I've been there a few times, but I'm not usually the one driving. So I get there and it's pouring rain, of course, and the only parking is parallel parking. I drive a minivan. I have tried to parallel park our minivan last summer in our own town on Main Street while this was a nightmare, while a bench full of working men were taking a break watching me. You know, there's the stereotype that women can't drive, you know. I think I'm a pretty good driver, but it is difficult to parallel park a minivan, and I did an awful job. And I vowed that day that I would never do it again. But I get to this town, and that's the only parking available unless I want to park in a lot somewhere and walk in the pouring rain for like 20 minutes. So already, like my nerves are already shot because I'm about to go get my neck cut open and then add this on top. I was so frazzled, and thank God I saw a spot that I could just pull right into. It was like the last spot, so there was no finagling. I could just pull right in. So I did. That was a huge relief. I walk into the tattoo parlor and I'm like, hey, I'm here, you know, to get this removed. And she says, all right, come on back. And I'm like chatty Cathy because I was nervous, and she was not really saying much at all, which just made me feel really uncomfortable. So I asked her, I said, do you have any kind of spray or something to numb the area? I said, because I'm pretty freaked out. I said, I had this done before and it was a nightmare. I don't want to relive the pain. And she said, well, I've got, I don't even know what she called it, benzene or something, but she said it in a tone that made me feel like it wasn't going to do anything. But I said, okay, well, just load it on there. Like, I don't know what it is, but if it's going to numb it at all, put it on there. So she sprayed it on. She had me, you know, straddle the chair, holding on. And she says, okay, I'm going to tell you when to take a deep breath. And when you breathe out, I'm going to make a cut. And I said, okay. I'm like shaking in my boots. And I'm clenched onto this chair so hard, like I'm holding onto the chair. Oh, first of all, hang on, let me backtrack. I had on my Alpine Bloom sweater, as you guys saw in last week's video, and I had it over a dress tucked in. And so what I did is I put my dress on, and then I put a sports bra on over my dress so that I could tuck my sweater into that band. Okay, so I get there and she says, it might bleed a little bit. And I said, oh, I do not want blood on this sweater. I made this sweater. Let me take it off. I forgot that when I took it off, I was gonna look crazy because I had a dress on with a bra on the outside of my dress. You see what I'm saying? So this lady probably thought I was nuts. And I said, please don't judge me. I know I look crazy. So anyways, I'm sitting in this chair with a bra on top of my dress, clenched onto this chair for dear life. And she says, take a deep breath. So I took a deep breath. And I was like holding it, waiting for her, waiting to feel something to breathe out. And I never really felt anything. I felt her touch it, and that was it. And so then I was like, all right, I gotta breathe. So I let my breath out, and she said, okay, I'm done. And I literally told her, no, you're not. Are you serious? And she said, yeah, it's right here. And I said, okay, let me see it. Like, I want to make sure you got this whole thing out because there's no way. And she showed it to me, and she had the whole thing. And I guess that benzene was from heaven, and it worked because I did not feel a thing. So the whole trip was just, I don't know, it was a blessing. At first I found the right spot to park in, and then it didn't hurt at all. It was just awesome. It was an awesome experience. I'm so glad it's gone. I can wear all the shawls I want. I don't know, I just don't have to worry about things getting caught on it anymore. And yeah, it went really well. And I really appreciate all of you guys praying for me and wishing me luck because it went great. And now it's gone, and I can live my life in peace without a piercing on my neck, destroying everything. It really wasn't that bad to have, but it was an annoyance. And now I don't even know that there's like a little scab over it, but it's healed pretty easy. I will say taking the Band-Aid off hurt so bad because I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of little baby hairs on the back of my neck. And this was one of those like waterproof band-aids that are super sticky. And so taking it off, it was just pulling every single hair, and I was too afraid to rip it off because I was afraid I was gonna like rip open the wound. So I had to do it really slow, and it was just like torture. But it's done, the piercing's gone, the band-aid's off, it's healing, all is well. So yeah, that's all I got. I made really good time today, 30 minutes. That's my goal with filming regularly. Like I said, it's a lot easier to edit a 30-minute video rather than a video that's over an hour. So I hope to see you guys again next week. Hopefully I'll have some things finished. And by things, I mean one thing, and that is my crochet top, because there's no way I'm gonna have anything else finished. Maybe a sock, but I doubt it. But I do think I'm gonna have 2 more cast-ons to add to the list. Why not? If I have enough needles and cords. I think I do. Thanks for spending time with me today. Thanks for just being here in general. And I did also want to say thank you to those of you who have supported me on Ko-fi. I don't really know how you say that. Ko-fi. I'm gonna assume it's coffee because it has a coffee cup with it in the logo. So yeah, thank you guys for supporting me there, and thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.